Welcome back to our channel, and this episode is a reminder for you not to buy a Rolex until you've watched it. Here are the things you need to know. Purchasing a new Rolex can be difficult, especially because Rolex purposely undersells a number of models, resulting in years-long wait lists at authorized Rolex dealers. Getting on those lists is a difficult task that requires both time and money. And purchasing a pre-owned Rolex is likewise a difficult task because there are numerous factors that go into deciding the worth appeal of a watch, not to mention the fact that you'll assess the watch's condition both inside and out. And the many things we should consider in purchasing this luxury timepiece. So if you are one who is planning to purchase a Rolex, especially your first ever Rolex, make sure to stay until the end of this video to learn the tips, tricks, and know-how of buying a Rolex. Men frequently choose Rolex as the first item they wish to purchase as a reward for achieving a goal. A timeless timepiece like a Datejust or a Submariner might let you remember that accomplishment for decades. Regardless of your feelings toward Rolex, no one can deny that a good watch collection is incomplete without a Rolex. In today's world, it's more of an accessory than a timepiece. That's all there is to it. You just have to wear it and like it. So let's walk you through some measures to ensure you get a Rolex that you'll love and want for years to come. First and foremost, you must keep in mind that not all Rolexes are investments. Now, I don't say this carelessly because, in general, Rolex watches keep their value better than any other brand. People, on the other hand, have this misunderstanding. They believe that they can acquire any Rolex by going to a store and playing Rolex roulette, buying whatever random model they want and then assuming that it will appreciate at a particular rate each year. That isn't always the case though. Just because you bought a Rolex watch doesn't guarantee it's a popular model with a high price tag that will skyrocket in the following years. It's also very important to set your Rolex model and year that you want to purchase. This may appear straightforward, but with the numerous little changes Rolex makes from year to year, it may be difficult. It may be more difficult than you think. Also keep in mind that Rolex watches are manufactured in batches, thus a watch with a serial number indicating a production date of 1989 could have been produced in late 1988. When feasible, consult experts. Consult Rolex resources. Utilize the internet sparingly when researching and double-check your sources. Brand new, vintage, or pre-owned? A new Rolex is rather basic. You pay full price and you receive an actual product complete with boxes, papers, and everything else. Purchasing a new Rolex will provide you with peace of mind, but it will also cost you a significant sum of money. With the exception of a few models, it is actually usually better to buy used rather than new ones, simply because you'll save a lot more money and get a better value. Yes, there are some watches that are selling for more than retail, and if you can correctly massage your AD salesman, you may be able to obtain one. It's merely that you find a better offer. Let's say someone else pays someone full retail, and then you buy the watch from them at a lower cost. When it comes to steel, there is sometimes not enough of a difference when the market is high, such as right now, when it may be over retail, or in the past, where it may have been very little. Perhaps you, like me, enjoy vintage items. You admire the patina of an old leather strap or the somewhat worn-in appearance of a watch that has been worn for a long time. In that situation, a vintage Rolex may be appropriate. Vintage items are those that are at least 20 or 30 years old, while antique items are those that are 100 years or older. Antique Rolexes were not popular for many years, but in recent years, retail prices and interest in watches have risen, resulting in an increase in interest and pricing for vintage pieces. And since historical watches often go up in price because a single model is uncommon or sought after, pre-owned Rolex watches are undoubtedly the most cost-effective pricing class. Pre-owned Rolexes, on the other hand, are likely to have the best wear-to-discount ratio. Pre-owned and vintage Rolexes, as I previously stated, may be counterfeit watches or include counterfeit parts, so bear that in mind. Comment down below if you prefer a brand new Rolex, a vintage one, or a pre-owned one. If you're enjoying this video, please make sure to hit like and subscribe to our channel. And of course, you must vet the physique of your Rolex. Start with the watch case size, as this is the most important factor to consider when purchasing a timepiece. A smaller watch is required if your wrist is slender. A larger watch is required if your wrist is large. Next up, it's time to choose the right material and band. For Rolex, I strongly suggest you go with a stainless steel watch case and bracelet, simply because that is in line with the sporty character of the watch. It also happens to be the most sought after material, it resists age exceptionally well, and it retains most value. If the two-tone aesthetic of stainless steel and gold appeals to you, go for it. In that situation, I recommend that you go into the vintage market, as gold is much more expensive at retail, therefore the starting price will be higher. Two-tone is less attractive on the pre-owned and vintage market, hence vintage values are lower than stainless steel. Go for it if you want a Rolex Daytona in gold or platinum. It isn't likely to be a disastrous investment. After we've decided on the material and band, we'll look at the bezel and dial. If it's your first beautiful watch or your first Rolex, we recommend avoiding showy colors or bold accents, because they limit the watch's versatility and cause you to wear it less frequently. Of course, if you're an artist or if color is a part of your personality, you should go ahead and do it. Light with light, as the ancient saying goes, means choosing a light face for the day and a dark face for the evening. Now, I'd say that wearing a light face in the evening is easier than wearing a dark face throughout the day. It's also an important takeaway, you should always seek a warranty or a satisfaction guarantee. Many pre-owned Rolex dealers will offer you a warranty. Make sure they're specific about what it covers and for how long. If buying from an individual, especially online, make sure that they offer a money-back satisfaction guarantee period for you to get the watch in hand and have checked it out. There are a plethora of methods to get Rolexes. But for such a crucial purchase with so many very exact counterfeits on the market, you should go with a trustworthy dealer of new, certified, pre-owned, and antique Rolexes. Remember that you want to deal with a Rolex volume dealer with a good reputation who wants to keep doing business and selling Rolex. Otherwise, you might end up with a fake, because it's extremely likely, and if you're new to this, you might not even notice it and believe you have the genuine article. These are actually just a few of the many things you should consider before you take that cash out of your wallet or swipe your card for that Rolex you've been eyeing. That is being said, surely there is still a lot of you to know before you buy a Rolex watch. And if you want to see more of these tips, please leave a comment down below and maybe we can talk about that in the future. Thank you for staying until the end. Make sure to give this video a thumbs up, hit subscribe, and ring the notification bell. Thanks for watching, and see you again next time in Above First Class.